Payton Harmsen, a women's basketball player at Dordt and soon to be graduate of Dordt University, joins us. And Payton, first off, where are you spending your days right now, and how are things going for you as you wrap up your college experience?
Yeah, right now I'm at living at home, and I was actually finishing up my student teaching back in Rock Rapids. I was supposed to be spending this portion of student teaching at Central Lyon, and obviously with COVID happening, I was not able to go into the school. So I was still able to meet with my cooperating teacher at her house every morning for 2.5 hours, and we would plan and record each other, and still try and make the most of it. And then after I would be done student teaching, then I would go and work in Rock Valley at Behavior Care Specialists. I've worked there for a little over 2 years now. So I've been trying to stay as busy as possible.
The whole student aid teaching experience obviously different than what you planned on. What have you learned through these last 7 to 9 weeks now?
Well, they've always told us that you can't really ever expect, like, what's going to happen in education because something else is going to happen instead. And that has definitely become true throughout this. So in this semester, the first part, I was in the Mars, and that was completely normal, really great experience. And then the second session was supposed to happen. I was there for a week, and then I had to go to nationals, which ended. And then I was supposed to go back into Central Line on that Monday, and on that Sunday, they told us that we were not able to go back into the school. And then I just spent that couple of weeks just communicating with my cooperating teacher, and then I started meeting with her. So, I learned probably a lot more than what I would have actually in the classroom. Like, I was able to learn different technology tools and all that kind of stuff in order to deliver more online lessons. So it actually ended up being a really great experience.
Have you always wanted to be a teacher? Did you come out of high school thinking this was the route you were going to go? Did you contemplate other things? How did this come about?
My dad was a teacher my whole life growing up, so that was always kind of in the back of my mind. But my senior year of high school, actually, I had to do a lot of physical therapy with my knees and my back, and so I was like, maybe this is the route I want to go. Like, I love athletics. I love being around athletes. Like, maybe I want to do the same thing that they were doing to help me. So I went into college actually as an exercise science major, and I took 2 classes, and I was out after that first semester. I was like, I don't even like science, so I don't know why I'm doing this. So I switched to education within that second semester of my freshman year. I just have always loved kids, being around kids of all ages. So it just seemed like the right path for me to go.
Talk about basketball a little bit. Has basketball always been your favorite sport? You played multiple sports in high school, correct?
Yeah.
Was basketball always your favorite?
Yes and no. It kind of went in spurts between basketball and volleyball, and it ended up kind of always being whatever season I was in. So basketball, it was my favorite always. It has always been a huge part of my life growing up. My dad has always been a coach ever since I was born. And so, I've always been around basketball. But, when I started playing volleyball, that really kind of started to take the lead. It was fun being around just some different girls and doing that. But at the end of the day, basketball was always my favorite.
Coming out of high school, was it a big decision for you to come to Dordt? Was that the front runner? Did you take other things into account? Tell me about that process.
Yeah, to be honest, I was bound and determined to never come to Dordt, just because a lot of students from my high school go to Dordt, and I just kind of thought it'd be the same. Like, my whole high school goes to Dordt, so Dordt's going to be like my high school. That was just my thought process. So I actually went on a bunch of other college visits before my parents convinced me to take a visit to Dordt. I was being recruited for basketball, so I thought that I might as well just give it a shot, and it didn't compare. Like, my visit at Dordt was way beyond and better than all my other visits, and after that visit, I remember sitting down with my parents at a restaurant and said, "This is where I need to be." So thanks for convincing me to go on this visit.
Now, you could not have predicted how things would go. You were recruited by one coach, Katie DeWitt Severson, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Played for her for 1 year. Kyle Lindbergh, an interim coach, and then a familiar face comes back. Tell me about what were your thoughts when, well, take me back those years when your dad interviewed for the job. Were you aware that he was interviewing for the job?
No, not at first. And then I kind of started catching some hints and clues just being at home. And then I did find out after Lindbergh was hired, then that's kind of when my dad let me know. But I mean, we tell each other everything and I never knew anything about it.
What were your thoughts when you found that out?
I was ecstatic. I was very, very excited. Playing for him in high school was like none other. Like we made the best memories, and to be able to have that for 2 more years of my college career, like it couldn't really be any better than that.
Having gotten to know him even better in the last couple of years than I already did, he's a fierce competitor. Is that where you get it? And I would put you in a similar category. Is that where you get that from, or is mom a little competitive too?
Yeah, I absolutely get it from my dad. We are very, very similar in all categories. And I mean, my mom, because she's been around the sport so much, I'd say she's competitive, but she's just more wanting everybody to have fun, making sure that everybody's having a good time. You know, she was a dancer and all that. So I definitely more get it from my dad for sure.
Able to get to the national tournament last year, able to get back again this past season. I guess what do you want these teams to be remembered for? The obvious answer is you are able to get the program to the next step in terms of a competitive nature. Is that what you want it to be remembered more for, or do you want something more than that?
I would really just say like our grit and determination and how we really came together as a team. What we did over these past 2 years would be completely impossible if we were all on our own islands trying to do it all on our own. But we were so close. Like we were such a close-knit unit, and I think that's what I'd love for people to remember us by, and for our team to remember us by, just our family community that we created. And we strived really hard to do that because we knew that without that we wouldn't be successful. So because we were so close, we were able to really lean and trust on each other through grit, determination, competitive edge. And I mean, we got after it all the time. And as soon as we stepped off the court, it was all hugs and, love. So we were able to turn the switch real quick.
Another 5 or 6 weeks, you've got a big day planned. Hopefully that happens. Status of the wedding at this point, wait and see, or full speed ahead? What are you doing?
As of now, we're still planning on June 12th, but we're going to wait until the 15th when the governor talks again to see, what she's going to say about people limits and all that. So we'll make a decision within the next couple weeks here about where we're going to go with it all.
Well, one way or the other, I would imagine you'll get married this summer. What happens after this summer? What's next for Payton?
I will be moving to Sioux Center, and I will be working as the behavior interventionist at Sioux Center Christian.
And what does that job mean?
I'm going to be working with students with intellectual disabilities and behavior needs, kind of like what I've been doing at Behavior Care Specialist, but more in a school setting.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll see you around. I would hope we see you at a few games in the coming years, and look forward to what the future holds for you, Payton.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.